Hey guys, it's Mr. Wes and Miss Sophie, and we are back with mask number 3. All right, so far we have made a cutout mask with Max and a Wild Thing. We have made a paper plate mask for a Wild Thing, and this is our final mask, our biggest mask, our paper bag mask. Now, in the packet that we gave you, you should have gotten all of the different materials for this. You're gonna need, first of all, a paper bag, and that was what everything was in for you. And then inside the paper bag, there was some construction paper, so you're gonna need that. And then the paint that you've been using for Miss Rebecca's art class, you're gonna need that paint, or you can use your own paint if you want. Either one is fine. Or if you don't wanna use paint, then you can use a marker. We're gonna use paint, but you can use a marker. Markers are fine. And then you're also gonna need some glue. Glue sticks are great, so use a glue stick. And then, or tape. Tape is good too, yeah. And then you're also going to need some paint brushes if you're gonna do some painting. And then you will need some construction paper, which was also included in your packet to do some cutting out for your whiskers and your horns and things like that, and your teeth. So this is a really, really cool paper bag mask that you can wear around. So we're gonna show you kind of how to do that as we go. So we're gonna go over here to Miss Sophie, and she's gonna start showing you how to do that. So the first thing we're gonna do is not actually in your instructions, but we actually found out through making a couple different masks, this is probably the best thing to do for you guys for your little heads. So we're gonna just cut that bottom part off. So we're gonna cut right there below the Food Lion. And thanks to the folks at Food Lion for donating our paper bags. That's why they all say Food Lion on them. So Sophie's gonna cut that off. Now, if you're making a mask for Max, which is another one that I gave you in your packet, then you're actually gonna save this. You're gonna trim off the Food Lion part altogether and just save the top part. But we're not gonna use it for this mask. We're gonna get rid of it. So the next thing Sophie's gonna do, she's gonna fold it out all the way. And so it makes a much shorter and a much smaller mask, so it doesn't come down so far. And then she's gonna stick that right on her head. See, that's the best Sophie's looked all year long. All right, so what we're gonna do next, and this is something you're gonna have to get your mom or your dad to help with. Sophie's gonna kind of locate her eyes, and she's gonna hold her fingers about where her eyes are. That way we'll know where to cut in the mask. So what I'm gonna do is she's gonna move that, and I'm just gonna put a little mark, and you guys see the little mark going right there? That just tells me that's about where her eye is. And again, you wanna get an adult to help you with this so you don't poke out an eye. So this is not something you wanna do, and and we're gonna put a little mark right there. Again, get an adult to help you to do this. Do not try to do this on your own because we don't want you sticking the pencil through for your eye. You can also use paint or a marker or anything else to do that. So the next thing Sophie's gonna do is she's going to cut out the eyes. So again, she's gonna take her pencil and she's gonna make a little puncture, and she's gonna work the pencil through so her scissors will have plenty of room. And she knows that's gonna be about the center of where her eye is. So she's gonna make these holes pretty big. Doesn't really matter how big they are. There's really no such thing as too big, just to make sure she can see really, really good. So she's gonna cut, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle.
So she's gonna cut out the circle. Trim that nice, and then, and that's one eye, and then she's gonna do the other one. Do about the same thing, she's gonna cut that out. And that gives her 2 nice eye holes.
Now, one thing it suggests that you do in with the instructions that I gave you is that you can make horns by folding the top of the bag. Now, we did that with one of the masks earlier, but I honestly just didn't like the way it was going to fit on Sophie's head, and it was a little harder to work on. So we decided we're going to make our own horns later on. You can fold it like that if you want to, and make nice little creases in the top, but we decided not to do that. We are actually just going to make our own horns. And without folding it, what that does, it gives a nice flat surface for Sophie to work on. So the next thing she's gonna do, she's gonna get her paint. And again, you can use markers if you want to do this, and you can use any color paint as well. Sophie's gonna use yellow, yeah, kind of a yellowish white color. And you wanna be careful not to get anything on your mom and dad's table or grandma's table or anything like that. Mess it up. Sophie's gonna be careful. What she's gonna do, she's gonna kind of outline around her first. Again, you can use a bright yellow color. She's kind of using a pinkish peach color. And you can use the paint, any of the paint that we sent you, because you've got plenty of that for your art project. Or if you've got some watercolors at home, acrylic paint works really well because it doesn't crack when you're wearing the mask. So first of all, she just outlined it, and then she's just gonna paint it in. And what this does is give some big yellow eyes, some big wide eyes. If you want red eyes, you can do that. Whichever color you like. I think the yellow eyes works well because they actually even say the line in Where the Wild Things Are. He stared into their yellow eyes without blinking. And that was the magic trick that Max performed to tame all the wild things. Now the reason we're not using yellow paint is we actually, our yellow paint dried up. So, so Sophie's improvising. But you guys have yellow paint, and you can, like I said, you can use a yellow marker if you want. So she's gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other eye. And she's just kind of making her a circle around it. And what that does, that helps just kind of give her a painting surface. There's really no right and wrong. She's making a perfect circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. I think a wild thing would have crazy eyes anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But she's gonna paint that really, really good.
And fill all of that in.
And what that does is it kind of makes her eyes, when she looks through the holes, makes her eyes look a lot bigger. And so her eyes, her real eyes actually are the eyeballs in the center of her big, scary yellow eyes that she makes. And if you've got a lot of time, you can go and you can paint this and make it a lot darker. You can add some lines into it if you want to. If you want to make it look like it's got lines inside the eyes, like some scary, like red lines or something like that, black lines inside of it. You just be creative and do anything you want here. So she's got her eyes done. And now what she's going to do is she's going to make a nose. Now, you can make the nose look like whatever you want. She's gonna go ahead and outline it first. That way she's got kind of an idea. That way she knows what she's painting, and also it gives her kind of something to draw on. Now, there's a picture of this on the paper that I gave you, but your nose doesn't have to look like this. This is just an example. And she just made her nose. Your nose can be bigger than that if you want it to be. Again, I want you to be creative. This is your creation. And that's the cool thing about arts, whether it be painting, whether it be theater, dance, music. It's all about imagination and creativity. So the only thing holding you back when you're making this mask is your own imagination. If you want to make the nose a different color, I think she's going with like a reddish brown color. But you can make it bright red, you can make it brown, you can make it black. It could be a green nose. Whatever you want. And you might go and you can outline it if you want to make it a little bolder. You might want to go and
A big green wart on it or something. I'm just gonna paint it in.
There we go. So that's the nose. So the next thing Sophie's going to do is she's going to go ahead and draw in.
Use a marker.
She's going to get a marker for this, and she's going to draw in the mouth. Now, the mouth, once you do the nose, the mouth, you can just draw that in if you want. If you want to paint it in, you can. We're going to do it a lot like we did the paper plate. She's just going to kind of make her a little mark. She's going to make some lines for her nose, and then she's going to make it come like it's a big smile. Like that. Again, if you want to do that with paint, you can. We just chose to do it with marker. Now, the next thing you need to do is you're going to cut out some teeth. You're going to have to glue these on because it's a wild thing. It's got to have some teeth. And Sophie had already cut out a few earlier. And she's going to cut out just a couple more. We're just going to use white paper for this. If this is something you want to paint on, you can do that. You can paint on the white teeth. Just draw them in and paint them on there with some white paint. Or you can use marker and color them in. Sophie just went and cut little triangles And she made some earlier, and then she's gonna make a few more. And yeah, she just cut little triangles there. And all she's gonna do is she's gonna take those and she's gonna glue them right on that smile and make the Wild Thing look like he's got some teeth. The stick glue works the best because it's really not messy at all. If you don't have glue, you can use a piece of Scotch tape will hold it on. Elmer's, any type of Elmer's glue will work as well.
I'm just gonna do the rest of these ones.
And the teeth don't all have to be the same size. You can make some really, really big, some really small. Okay, so now we have all of our teeth on. And so now Sophie's gonna move into the hair. And the Wild Things are very hairy. So she's already cut some black strips, and how she did that is she just took some of the black paper and she just made some strips. And you can make these strips of different lengths. Don't make them all the same. Just cut some long, cut some short. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a Wild Thing that has the same length of hair. So she just cut some different sizes, and some of them she tore off, and some of them she cut. Some of them can be thick, some of them can be thin. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take that and we're gonna go back to our glue stick again, and we're just gonna kind of form the hair.
It's gonna go all the way around.
All over the place, yeah. And pretty much we're gonna put hair all around it. It's gonna be like a beard, and it's gonna be like hair on top, and it's gonna be shaggy hair coming off the sides, and we're gonna put hair everywhere. She's gonna mix that up. And look, she's done different sizes, so she's not got the same lengths side by side.
If you have this type of glue, don't worry about the purple, because it'll go
Yeah,
away.
the purple does go away, so that's a cool thing about this glue. That's the reason I really like the glue sticks, because they go on purple, but you know when they're dry, because when they're dry, it goes away. So we're just gonna do this to the whole mask. We're gonna put hair everywhere, these little black strips. Sophie's gonna stick some up top, she's gonna put some on the side, she's gonna put them everywhere. So, and you can put as many as you want. I mean, go crazy with it. And again, this is one of those things that you do not have to continue with the same color. If you want to mix up colors of the hair, if you want some brown or some red or whatever you want, some pink. Yeah, if you want pink hair all the way around, it could be pink. I mean, there's this monsters are monsters. They can be pink monsters and green monsters, and multicolored rainbow monsters. They can do tie-dyed monsters. We can do anything. We're just using black, but you can use any color you want. So again, be creative. The only thing holding you back here is your own imagination. So be really, really creative with this. So Sophie's gonna keep working on this, and then we'll go to the next step after she's done with all of the paper strips. Okay, so Sophie's added hair. She's got different sizes. And you can go as crazy as you want with this. This use as much hair as you want. They can be much, much longer, much shorter, whatever you want to do. Now she's gonna go through and fill in some paint, so our Wild Thing looks a little less like SpongeBob. She's going to just kind of fill in things as she goes and fill in some paint. To kind of make it look a little more uniform and not so like it's kind of a hairline coming down. Now again, you can do this with a marker if you want, or you can do a different color of hair. That's kind of up to you. But she's just gonna kind of fill it in. Maybe look, our Wild Thing's got some shaggy hair all around. And again, we're just using black, but you can use any color you want. Doesn't have to be the same as the strips you cut. The strips don't have to be the same color.
Again, be creative.
So Sophie's going to take some time, fill that in until our next step. Okay, so we finished adding some hair. Again, you can add as much as you want, color in as much as you want with that. And now Sophie is going to put on some horns. And all she did is we chose just to cut out ours because we wanted a little bigger horns sticking up. Now in the paper I gave you, it does show how you can make them on the top of the bag. And that's cool if you did that. We decided to just do this because we wanted some big horns. There's no really right around place to put them. She's gonna put them glue that right on there with some glue, and she's gonna cut her another one. Again, you can cut a few horns if you want. You can, and these, we just chose purple because we like purple for the horns, but they can be any color. All right, just gonna glue those down really good.
That's good.
All right. And then again, you can go through and you can add things if you want to. If you want to have monster have freckles, or if you want your monster to have any designs on the face, or whatever you want. But you know, the horns are kind of the last thing that we added to it. But you can add more stuff if you want to after that, or color in some of the teeth. The last step is to just fold it out. And then put it on, and you have your custom-made Wild Thing bag mask. Again, you can make as many of these if you want. This is just one design that you can use. There's also on your instruction sheet, there's one that shows you how to make a Max mask. So you can make a Max one too. So you be as creative as you want to, but come up with a cool mask and show us what you got. So this is Mr. Wes and Miss Sophie saying that is mask making part 3 with the Wild Thing bag mask. Good luck, guys.